Now I'm in my final year of school, trying to finish school, and it was just...
For some of us, high school are the most memorable years of our lives. But between the immense pressure of teenagehood, getting good grades, and being less fortunate, how many of us actually make it through? And how many don't? We all cling desperately to the moments that help see us through. My goal was to finish school. But there were certain circumstances that were beyond my control.
When you left New Zealand with Mum, is that where Mum based herself, was in Armadale first?
Yeah, that's because we had family there. All I knew was what I'd seen on TV.
Yeah.
Like the big cities, the beaches and everything like that, and I was like, yeah, Australia's going to be cool.
But of all the possibilities I imagined my new life in Australia would be, I never expected to land in a shitty little town in the middle of nowhere.
This is not what I imagined Australia was going to be like. This sucks.
Armadale is a small town about 5.5 hours drive south of Brisbane.
So far, it's as I expected. Really not much to report. Horses, cows, just shit. We're gonna go up these hills. Hopefully I don't get stuck behind a truck. That's my fucking life.
Armadale. Moving here is what they call in Australia a classic stitch-up.
When we first arrived to Armadale, we went to stay at my grandmother's house. She's no longer with us now, but...
Considering the struggles we'd left behind in New Zealand, staying at Nan's was nice. And we could finally afford things that we couldn't before. But then, the arguing started. Mum's schizophrenia was getting worse. She was volatile and constantly picking fights with the family. We were no longer welcome and asked to leave. 4 weeks after we arrived, this is what became of our Australian dream.
We didn't get out of New Zealand to live in a caravan park. After Mum, what Mum had just been through, the arguments, she broke down, and she was crying, and she said, What do I do? No. What do I do?
Mum just needed someone to take the wheel and steer us in the right direction. So I went out, found us a place to rent. Somewhere we can call home. And I chose this house for one specific reason. It was located only 2 blocks walk from the one thing that I wanted to do. see, no one in my family had ever finished school, so my goal was to break that curse. And once we enrolled, Pat and I finally started to enjoy ourselves. We were almost living what's considered a normal life. One day down at the skate park, I met this dude. He's the most talented drummer I've ever known. This is Rico. Rico and I, we hung out a lot. I played the guitar, he played the drums, so you could pretty much guess the only thing that we would do when we hung out. For the first time in a long time, life was good.
One day after school, I get home and Mum's like, "Oh, John, I've got some good news." And she's like, they've released Tama out of the mental hospital and he's coming over here and he's going to stay with us.
I can handle Mum's schizophrenia, but Tama's different. Photos of Tama are scarce because he doesn't like cameras. He never actually told me that, but my room was right next to his room. So things like trying to sleep or trying to concentrate had become impossible. I was too scared to go into his room. We all were. Could make out what he was saying, turn off the cameras. But I could only imagine what that was like for him. Mental illness aside, Tama was just a 19-year-old boy who wants the same things that everyone else does. Love, joy, companionship. When he asked me, he said, "John, can you help me make some friends?" The only way was to bring him with me to social gatherings. But the problem was, there was always a lot of weed getting around. Which, by the way, if Tama smoked weed, it would just send him off to another planet and he'd just act strange. So I warned my friends ahead of time. Don't give my brother any weed. So we get to the party, and the thing is, Tama can be quite charming when he wants to be. People liked him. And well, he always found a way. Not too long after, he was outside mumbling something to a tree. And I could hear what people were saying about him. Look at that guy. Is he okay? What's up with that dude? And I was always caught right in the middle. But this time, I was fed up. I walked over, turned off the stereo, and I stood up on this chair and shouted until the veins on my forehead were popping. Stop giving my fucking brother drugs. Everyone went silent, and then just a moment later, Tama walks over to me and he beats the shit out of me.
And he was very aggressive with his schizophrenia, but he also wanted friendships, and he still wanted everything that a boy wants,
Absolutely.
And at the same time, what I had done is, when I stood up, I embarrassed him, and I singled him out at a time when he was just trying to fit in. On top of all the troubles he's already got, I kind of pushed my relationship with my eldest brother further apart.
For anyone in their final year of high school, the pressure is immense, and I was failing. I'd fallen so far behind my goal of doing well at school that it was impossible to catch up. After school, I'd make my way home and try to relax. At which point, my social life was focused around risk management than having fun. I was trapped in a cycle where I couldn't concentrate, I couldn't relax, and there was nowhere to go. In a time that's supposed to be the most memorable years of my life.
Now I'm in my final year of school, trying to finish school, and it was so full on, and I wanted my life back. It was gone.
There's only one thing that I could do, so I went up to Mum and I said to Mum, I'm moving out of home. I want to move out. And Mum wasn't happy about that because, Mum depended on me. I'd been making all the decisions and, she relied on me. At age 17, Mum had to disown me just so I could get welfare assistance from the government. So we went down there and Mum was freaking out. She's like, what do I say? What do I do? And I was just like, I don't know. I think we just tell the truth. Of all I'd done to get to this point, the hardest part was, how am I going to tell Pat? We'd been through everything together, and now I'm leaving him.
Yeah, he said, like, well, what am I going to do? What about me? That was hard, man.